On the news this morning, CJN reads riot act as NJC queries 3 judges. Court dismisses FIRS application on VAT collection. Governor Wike threatens fresh COVID-19 lockdown in Rivers State. Federal government to meet with Johesu today. On the foreign scene, Guinea coup leader to form new government in weeks. I am Ifiemi Andrew. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tano Mohammed, has read the Riot Act to judges, saying that the judiciary will no longer condone indiscipline or allow any judge to tarnish its image. A statement by the Supreme Court Director of Information, Soji Oye, said the CJN gave the warning in Abuja during a marathon meeting with 7 invited state chief judges over recent conflicting ex parte orders. The statement said the meeting, which began at 11 a.m., lasted until 5:30 p.m. The meeting began with a one-on-one interaction with the judges, who were separately questioned personally by the CJN for over an hour. The statement further stated that the 3 judges who granted conflicting ex parte orders have been invited to appear before the National Judicial Council to explain why disciplinary actions should not be taken against them. Earlier, a constitutional lawyer, Richard Wokocha, advised that compelling judges to comply with territorial jurisdiction in trial of cases should form part of discussions of that meeting.
I expect they should use that meeting to alert the chief judges that making those judgments that constitute a violation of the law. Because when they do a chief judgment without jurisdiction, he is himself violating the law. So I expect this meeting to be used to advise the chief judges to go and advise judges within their jurisdiction to work within the law and avoid making themselves instruments for violating the law. And to forewarn them that the NJC will take seriously any complaints that are brought against judges who engage in this conduct, which they have been forewarned about.
Another lawyer, Chioma Choko, says the NJC ought to reaffirm its disciplinary action against erring judges.
We expect at this material time that the members of the public, as a matter of fact, are beginning to lose interest, that confidence that they originally had in the judicial system. So I expect that today's meeting should serve as that which will prepare the people to also believe in the judicial system. Judicial arm of the government has the NJC that serves as that disciplinary organ of the judicial system. If there is any judge that is alleged to have committed a particular offense, the NJC at this material time should come into play with their full role, punish that particular judge in the deserving manner with respect to that particular offense, misconduct.
The Lagos State government has filed murder charges against Chidinma Ojukwu and another person, Adedapo Quadri, for the murder of Super TV CEO Usifo Ataga. Chidinma was brought before a chief magistrate court in Yaba area of Lagos yesterday. Counsel to the police, Cyril Ajiofo, told Magistrate Adeola Adedayo that the police have received legal advice from the office of the DPP on the case. The 300-level mass communication student of the University of Lagos and Quadri are being charged with conspiracy to murder, and conspiracy to commit felony. Recall that Super TV CEO was found in the pool of his blood with multiple wounds on his body after he was reportedly stabbed to death at a hotel where he lodges in the Lekki area of Lagos. A federal high court in Port Harcourt has dismissed an application by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, seeking to stop the Rivers State government from collecting VAT in the state. As you may know, the FIRS had in a motion or notice asked the court to stay execution on its earlier judgment that declared that it is the constitutional right of state governments to collect VAT and not FIRS. But Justice Stephen Dalyopam, in his ruling, said granting the application would negate the principle of equity. Lawyer to the Rivers State government, Mark Agu, spoke to newsmen after court proceedings.
Today, the court has delivered its ruling dismissing the said application for stay, though without cost. In fact, the court's reasoning is that if it should grant stay, it's more or less like overruling itself. And since the court is empowered to recognize all laws enacted by the National Assembly or the State House of Assembly, therefore, that law stands. It's a substantive law. Therefore, the issue of collection of VAT, as it were, as it stands today, Rivers State government is still entitled to so collect.
The lead lawyer to the Federal Inland Revenue Services FIRS, Ruben Wanogo, also spoke to newsmen.
We do not agree with the ruling, and we will take all necessary steps to challenge it. That is why the appellate system is there. The appellate system is there to enable us ventilate our grievance if, for any reason, the court makes a pronouncement and we do not agree with the pronouncement. So, for sure, we feel that the ruling should have gone in our favor, but the court has taken a position against us. So, we'll do the needful by taking it up immediately before the Court of Appeal. So, we'll challenge it.
Meanwhile, Governor Nyesom Wike has urged businesses in the state to pay their value-added tax, VAT, to the state government and not the FIRS. Governor Wike made the call during a live broadcast yesterday. He directed the Rivers State Internal Revenue Service, RIRS, to implement the court order which constitutionally empowers the state to collect VAT.
And with today's judgment, the way is now clear for the administration and enforcement of the Rivers State Value-Added Tax Law 2021 across the entire state until otherwise decided and set aside by the superior courts. Consequently, I hereby direct the Rivers State Revenue Service Board to ensure the full and total implementation and enforcement of this law against all corporate bodies, business entities, and individuals with immediate effect. All corporate bodies, business entities, and individuals are advised to willingly, truthfully, and promptly comply with their tax obligations under this law to avoid the full weight of the stipulated sanctions, including having their business premises sealed up.
The state governor, however, warned the Federal Inland Revenue Service against interference.
Let me warn that the Rivers State government is fully in charge of the state and will not tolerate any further attempt by the FIRS to sabotage or undermine our authority to freely administer our tax and other related laws in our own state. Those who play with the fire risk having their fingers burnt. Enough of the shenanigans. I wish to further assure every resident that we shall, as usual, make effective use of the expected proceeds from this tax, accelerate the development of our state, and improve the well-being of everyone.
Governor Wike also said the state might reimpose the suspended COVID-19 lockdown if COVID-19 cases continue to rise in the state. He urged residents to get vaccinated and comply with all COVID-19 safety protocols.
I therefore appeal to all residents to help protect yourself, your loved ones, and the rest of the city by getting your vaccination at the designated health centers in the state. Although it remains our desire to keep the state open and allow citizens to go about their social, religious, and economic activities unimpeded, but we may be constrained to reimpose suspended COVID-19 lockdown measures across the state if the transmission of the disease continues to increase beyond tolerable limits.
The governor also spoke on the recent demolition of illegal shanties in the state. We wish to reiterate that the ongoing demolition of shanties was born out of the compelling need to safeguard lives and property across the state. Our objective, which we are achieving, is to deny the criminals these sanctuaries and hideouts from which they embark on their criminal activities. We therefore refuse to be blackmailed by those unpatriotic elements who are trying to stir false ethnic, religious, or tribal sentiments around our patriotic commitment to advance the safety and security of residents. We refuse to be intimidated by such baseless pranks. Rather, we will not rest until we clear the state of all shanties wherever they are located and restore sanity to our environment and achieve a better sense of comfort and security for everyone. The federal government will today meet with the joint health sector unions, JOHESU, and Assembly of Healthcare Professionals in Abuja. Spokesperson for the Ministry of Labor and Employment, Charles Akpan, said the meeting is aimed at preventing more workers in the health sector from embarking on strikes. Earlier, Chairman of Johesu at UPTH, Blessing Amadi, said issues raised by its national body over welfare of its members is also affecting them.
We've been considerate about our patients, and that's why we seldom go on strike. In this time, it has come to the knowledge of our unions that the federal government is not doing what it's supposed to do concerning our demands on our agreements, collective bargaining agreements in the past. They are foot dragging, and we have waited for so long for some of those demands to be met.
Recall that Johesu last week issued a 15-day ultimatum over the attitude of government to the plight of its members. Some of the welfare issues include adjustment of consolidated health salary structure, as was done with consolidated medical salary structure since 2014, payment of all withheld April and May 2018 salaries of its members, and payment of reviewed hazard allowance. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Dr. Ifedayo Morayo Adetifa as the new Director General of the NCDC. A statement by presidential spokesperson Grabashew said Adetifa is replacing Dr. Chikwe Ekwazu, who will be resuming as the new Assistant Director General of Health Emergency Intelligence at the WHO and will have his office located in Berlin. Still ahead, today is International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies. Stay tuned. An environmentalist, Mina Ogbanga, is demanding clean air in River State as the world celebrates International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies today. Mrs. Obanga told our correspondent that enforcement of political will and sincerity of commitment will help in addressing issues affecting the environment in this state.
How do we achieve and get back our garden city status, get back our clean status? That's when it comes to green energy or green environment as a state university. It's something that is concern to many, and it's something that we are still hopeful that we can achieve. So our strategy is to see how we can use information, we can use education, we can do proper communication to promoting best practices in environmental protection and sustainability. You can imagine celebrating clean air. We know the basics. What is hard is about political will. It's about sincerity of commitment. So do away with those things that compromise our environment.
She further urged residents to desist from practices that compromises the sustainability of the environment in the state.
The man is sitting down, you're burning tires, doing those local things you do in your immediate environment that jeopardize or compromise our environment. You need to ask yourself, if you stop, another stop, a third person stop, so that at least you contributed to 1% of increase in clean air for you and your fellow man. River citizens have children, they have daughters, they have sons. Some of them are involved in illegal bunkering, some of them are involved in compromising activities. You tell your children, come, how can we provide an alternative to this that you're doing? Because this thing is not only causing death to lots of you, but also compromising the environment.
This year's theme is Healthy Air, Healthy Planet, which emphasizes the correlation between human and planetary health in the context of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Also, a member of the PDP in the state and President General Obiakpo Youth Agenda Budoka Waliogba says if the issue of flooding must be properly addressed, then the government must partner with the state. While reacting to recent floods in parts of the state as a result of constant rainfall, Mr. Waliogba called for drainages, especially on federal roads, to be cleared.
The flood is here again. We've been appealing to the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, partner with the state government to see how they can provide solution to the issue of flood. The issue of flood in the states, we're all aware, is an ecological problem. There are so many whole lot of challenge that this flood comes with. As a matter of fact, it is even affecting our economy. The people of Rivers State suffered for issue of flood in years back. We see these flood issues mainly on the federal roads, and as such, it requires the attention of the federal government to come down to Rivers State and clean up the drainages that is accompanied by the federal road. The east-west road is in total mess.
He also called on members of the APC from the state who occupy one position or the other at the federal level to draw the attention of the government to the sufferings of the people in the state as a result of the flood. The Association of Fishermen, Seafood Dealers and Farmers in the Niger Delta, in collaboration with concerned youths of Bonny, have called on the operators of the Onne Seaport to support the fight against insecurity on Bonny waterways. The convener of the group, Ralph Sotonye Pepple, urged that operators of the Onne Seaport assist the Bonny Kingdom and provide logistics to the security agencies to fight crime in the area. Senibo Sotonye Pepple said the operators of the Onne Seaport generate over 8.17 billion naira as revenue through their operation on the Bonny waterways. He said the group will carry out a peaceful demonstration closing out the Bonny waterways to operators of Onne Seaport until a positive response is given to the Bonny Kingdom in the fight against insecurity.
As it stands now, the Organization of Fishermen, in conjunction with the concerned youths of Bonny Kingdom, will mobilize from the Niger Delta region to stop Onne Seaport from using our waterways if they cannot assist the kingdom in terms of insecurity in the Bonny waterways which they are using. We will carry out a peaceful demonstration closing out the Bonny waterways that the Onne Seaport is using till a positive response is given by the Onne Seaport to the Bonny Kingdom in terms of insecurity.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
The leader of the coup which ousted Guinea's President Alpha Condé says a new union government would be formed in weeks. Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya told ministers who served in Mr. Condé's government that there would be no witch hunt against former officials. President Condé remains in detention, but his fate is unclear. The UN, African Union and regional body ECOWAS have condemned the coup and called for a return to civilian rule. On the news this morning, you heard that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, has said the judiciary will no longer condone indiscipline or allow any judge to tarnish its image. The court has dismissed the FIRS application on VAT collection in Rivers State. Governor Nyesom Wike has warned that COVID-19 lockdown could be reimposed in the state if residents continue to flout COVID protocols. The federal government will today meet with Johesu, an assembly of healthcare professionals in Abuja. On the foreign scene, we told you that the Guinea coup leader is set to form a new government in weeks. The news was edited by Martha Akere. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. For more stories, visit our website at www.nigeriainfo.fm. Cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for your time.